have a power to take your love out with my heart. I was born to serve you, of my heart, of my soul. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. No one have a power. No one, no one, no one, no one, no one, no one have the power, 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 power to think of the, to think of the love, love, love of God, 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 of Israel in my heart, in my heart. No one have the power, 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 power to think of the love of God, 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 God. I was born, 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 I was born to be the child of God, 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 I am talking the God of Giant, the God who created everything, everything, everything. I'm not talking the God of the China. I'm not talking the God in India and they eat 300 million. I'm talking about the truth. I was born, 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 I was born to love, to love, 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 love. I was born, I was born, I was born to love Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I was born, 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 I was born to love Jesus, 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 Jesus. You got my heart, 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 Jesus. The God, God, God of Israel. You got my heart, you got my heart, Jesus, Jesus. You got my heart, Jesus, Jesus. You got my heart, Jesus. You got my heart, Jesus. I'm not going nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. I will die for your love, Jesus. I will die for your love, Jesus. I will die for your love, Jesus. You got my heart, Jesus. You got my heart, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. You are my 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 Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. You are my Jesus. 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 I'm not going nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. They could persecute me all they want. They cannot take the love of God. They could persecute me all they want. They cannot take back the love of God. I was born to be the child of God. I was born to be the child of God. They cannot take the love of God in my heart, in my heart. I was born to be the child of God. They need 300 million. I'm talking the God of Israel, the God who created everything. I was born to be the child of God, the God of Israel, the God who created everything, the God who loved the earth. Every time I come, you know, because I'm in love with Jesus.